Friends, how are you doing? What a day, what a day. It's May 1st, and we are in the hot seats here with the market. So let's go into it. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I do mean that. Today we'll talk obviously about Big Bear, talk about Palantir. We had huge quarterlies come out today with a lot of stocks, Big Bear being one of them. No one made quarter. I mean, like, I'm looking over quarter, even like aftermarket here, which was a lot of the big companies, Amazon, Apple. No one hit earnings exactly, big earnings. Q4s were good, Q1s coming down a little rough here on most things. Some were okay, some were bad. God, even McDonald's missed quarterlies. So let's talk about Big Bear first, because Big Bear today came out with quarterlies, and Big Bear essentially did what I thought it would do. There's good news, there's bad news, and let's talk about what's going on. So, Big Bear just missed quarterlies, okay? And they actually came closer than I thought they were gonna come. I said this last time I talked about I've been saying this, but I talked about this especially last time I talked about Big Bear was, I'm not expecting them to hit quarterlies. I said I'd be shocked if they did. So Big Bear came out with quarterlies today, and their revenue, there's things that's happened with the company, and let's go right into that. So, of all, the quarterlies came out today, and the stock started dropping, and it's under $3 right now, and it's gonna be rocky here for a minute, more than likely. But we're hoping the best that Big Bear can survive here at this point. But it's not all bad news, so hang on there. Q1 25 revenue. Big Bear hits 34.8 million, better than Q1 of 2024, up 5%. Okay, so and then we have the situation as they have a cash balance of 107.6 million, and then on top of that, they were able to pay off some debt, which is the big thing that a lot of people want to see. It's what I want to see too, that they can get some debt paid off. So we're seeing better things happen here in Big Bear. Now, if Big Bear does continue on this path, they'll have a better year than they had in 2024, obviously. Now, I'm greedy. I would have loved to see Big Bear at least hit like, a $36 million quarterly here this go round, but they did it, and I wasn't expecting it. Like I said, I didn't think that they were going to nail down this quarterly. They've had good deals here. But a lot of these deals, they're going to keep piling up on top of each other. And then that's going to be the fun part of the year, to see these deals really start to accumulate here. And probably by Q2, Q3, we should see more. And listen, it's still early in the year, okay? It's May 1st, and there's still a lot that can happen here in the year. We've had a lot happen. Just in the past few months here with Big Bear, a lot has happened with these deals, these government contract deals. That's why a lot of people are paying attention to Big Bear right now. So, saying that, this has been my argument with Big Bear. It's a very attractive situation. It's a very dangerous situation. My hopes and my dreams have stayed the same since I've been investing in Big Bear. I want to see them pay off debt. I want to see them hold this at least two high dollar zone to at least 3 mid range. I would love $4, but as long as they stay somewhere up in this $3 range, I'll be happy until they can get further along with some more deals, get into deeper in the year to start seeing some bigger revenue progress here. And, just continue to do what they're doing at this point right now. It's just, with every 2 months, get a new deal, a new big deal. And these government contracts, these defense contracts are very sweet right now, and I hope they keep doing this. So more than likely, I'm going to be totally honest with you, do not be shocked to see Big Bear start to be tossed around here. It's going to get tossed around. Investors are going to beat it up here. The bears are coming for it, and we're going to see what Big Bear can survive at. It wasn't a terrible quarterly in the sense of like, oh my God, this was terrible. It was actually, to me, better than expected. It missed, but like I said, I was expecting it to miss. Big Bear always misses, okay? Like, it always misses quarterlies. It's just the fact of what we've seen here in the past 5-6 months with Big Bear to, capture a lot of our attention with what's been going on here. So, Big Bear has been in worse situations than this right now. And obviously the one big thing lingering too is that this whole lawsuit situation, that they can get this wrapped up, cleaned up, and just get it out of here, get this bad news gone. We're essentially just, it's just been dragged out. It's just been dragged out. And essentially you have these law firms just like begging people to please call them and say, did you buy Big Bear so we can sue them, help, and we'll all get money? It's essentially kind of, it's turned into a witch hunt at this point too. So Big Bear is trying to get this wrapped up, obviously. And, friends, it's just, there's a line down the sand right now with Big Bear. And this is going to be a situation of, it's still, I think Big Bear is still an exciting play, but it is going to be a hard stock for you mentally to trust, to stay with. It's just, it is what it is at this point. So I'm not going to read every little thing with what came out today with the quarterlies. I don't think people want me to go over every little thing here. But as of right now, Big Bear is still on track to hit somewhere around 160, 180 in revenue this year. And that's nothing new. That's something, they've said, we've talked about. But obviously too, if Big Bear continues to capture new partnerships, new deals here, we could hit that 180, if not more. If we hit 185, that would be tremendous to end out the 2025 at that, because that would be huge for Big Bear. That would be, that would be huge. There's positives, there's negatives, okay? And like I said, I think Big Bear will probably be tossed around here quite a bit. It could easily go to $2.50. It could easily go back to $3.15. Plummet, climb, and it's gonna do what it always does here, and it's gonna move on good news. So, friends, yeah, that's what I have to say about Big Bear. Really, my mind has not changed with it whatsoever. I'm not shocked. I'm not anything. This is just kind of what I expected. Talking about Palantir, I mean, man, if you've been trading Palantir back and forth here this week, God, have you made some money? Palantir has just been so all over the place this week. Palantir ended today around 115. The market, as we went on throughout the day and we kept seeing bad quarterlies come out today, the market was like, the S&P, Dow, and everything just kind of just started selling off dramatically. And then once Apple and Amazon came out with their quarterlies, it was like, So with that, now Palantir has sold off to 115. I mean, my God, we're at $115 for Palantir. That's still very high. Okay, I think most people are still in profit range, if not very close to being profit range, because you cannot be that far off at this point with wherever you're sitting in Palantir. So, like I said, more than likely, I don't think this is a time for people to panic sell. Obviously, do what you want to do. But Palantir is on the other side of the mountain compared to Big Bear, okay? Palantir should come out with historic quarterlies here. I mean, like banging quarterlies. Now, the question is, will Palantir hit this $1 billion Q1? Did they do it? Is this what we're about to see? Is this what we're about to be in the middle of here with Palantir? Monday is when these quarterlies come out. So I would not be shocked to see an insane week next week with Palantir. And I think tomorrow too, I'm kind of hoping the market does sell off a little bit tomorrow, because, I'm wanting to do some trading myself. There's some things that I'm wanting to buy. So that's essentially, selfishly, I'm hoping that, because I know next week is going to be real big in the market. I mean, we've got huge companies once again next week, producing quarterlies, anywhere from Uber to Disney, all that kind of stuff. Rivian, that's going to be very interesting to see what they came out with. That's really going to do a lot right there. I want to tell you that, yesterday I made a video saying that I believe Palantir is going to $140, and I think the majority of people, we agreed on that. A lot of people agree on that, whether or not it's next week or not. Palantir, undoubtedly, if they just at least execute this quarterly, which I think they will, undoubtedly, but if they smash this next quarterly, I don't think there's any reason why we will not climb back up to 120, 125, achieve 130, and move somewhere, especially into May here, into the summer, seeing Palantir get into $140 range. I don't think that, to me, that does not sound that crazy. It just doesn't, because but it's going to take Palantir crushing this quarterly. It's going to take Palantir going, okay, so here's what we're doing. Every quarterly we're moving on a 35, now 40, now 45, now 50, now 55. Can we get in the 60% range of Palantir knocking out each quarterly on high expectations of what the last one was with numbers? And that's been the storyline here with Palantir. It keeps growing so massively on these quarterlies, from each quarterly, from Q1 of 2023 to Q1 of 2024 to Q1 of now 2025. Maybe we'll know next week. This is why Palantir has grown so much. I mean, just Q4 of 2020, Palantir was under $300 million a quarter. Now we could possibly be in $1 billion quarterly range here. So, this year is going to be a very telltale year of what we can expect for the next probably year or two with Palantir. Can Palantir really hit this $1 trillion market cap? Can Palantir, within a year or two, could we be talking about a stock split? Could that really be happening for us? Is Palantir one of these companies that in the future, yeah, it's going to make millionaires. It's going to make people very wealthy. It's going to be put into more ETFs. It's going to really be a heavy company, a stock for our market, that our market relies on, something like Nvidia, something like Apple, something like that. So that's the kind of situation that I think a lot of people are wondering about Palantir, because obviously they're in the lead for what their bread and butter is, for what they do, and it's not. We're not seeing pushback in their finances at this point. It's quite the opposite. It's growing so aggressively that I think a lot of people are just scared to not be a part of what's going on over here in Palantir. I would probably say, I would make a bold statement and say probably like 8 out of 7 investors probably have owned Palantir in the last 6 months, have bought it. I don't think that's crazy to say, because I know a lot of people personally that are heavy in Palantir and believe in Palantir. 8 months ago, there was a lot more criticism of Palantir, and now Palantir has really proven to be, a situation of, I don't know that I would bet against it at this point. I really don't know that I'd bet against it. So, even this week, like I said, my God, if you bought Palantir just, 10 days ago, the 24th of April, and you bought it for under $100, and then yesterday, or even today, for a point, you could have, that's almost a $30 increase on your per share there. Not quite, but obviously pretty close there. 20 guaranteed. So it's a heavy stock, heavily manipulated, heavily filled with volume and support by investors, and there's no doubt about that. It's in this FOMO, it's in the zeitgeist move right now, and that's okay. We'll take it because it deserves it 100%. It's proving to be quite there's a lot of proof in the pudding with the situation. So want to remind everybody, I'm not going to talk about this much. I'll talk about it probably later this weekend. But next week too, do not forget that on Thursday the 8th, May 8th, SoundHound will be coming out with quarterlies too, so that's something that I really am interested to see what is going to happen with SoundHound. Obviously, long story short, SoundHound's last quarterly was the biggest they've ever had. Just a huge quarterly. It came out with almost $35 million quarterly, and that's a lot for them. That's huge. I mean, that's for a company that went from making like $6 million to $11 million on a good quarterly to holy crap, this is like this is huge. I mean, you're talking about tripling down their quarterly there. So we'll see if they continue. I don't know that they'll beat their last quarterly, but I'm hoping that they at least match it or come somewhere close in that range to show like, hey, this is kind of our new guidance. This is kind of our new playground of what we're making as a company. I think that'll be very good for them, and that right there will keep this very nice stock price right now for SoundHound. You know, it will definitely keep around this $7 to $9 range, you know, for what they have. So, yeah. Keep your eye on that 100%. Friends, I am going to be quiet. I don't think anybody else wants to hear me talk all night. I want to wish everyone the best of luck. What I said about Big Bear, listen, I'm still going to be talking about Big Bear. Like I said, nothing has really changed here in my mind with Big Bear. Everything is kind of still the same. I wasn't expecting them to hit this quarterly. The quarterly was actually better than I thought. I'm going to be completely honest. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. They came very close to actually beating the expectation of the quarterly. They came very close, and that is rare for them. So the negative is somewhat the positive too with Big Bear, because you know, they almost beat their expectation of what they were supposed to hit, and they usually do not do that. They actually have not done that in 2 years. So this is a good sign. It's a good sign that they're making more money, that, you know, this is the only positive that we can pretty much pull out of that one little scenario. But they're paying off debt. They got a new CEO who is obviously going after these government contracts, trying to get a name for Big Bear, trying to push the company in a better, more healthy revenue area. And you know, I think there's good things to come here with Big Bear. I do, but it's gonna be a hard love life here with Big Bear, 100%. It's just gonna be hard, friends, and I totally get that 100%. So, like I said, I wish all of you best of luck. We will talk soon, and take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.